the lovely Louise Helton, who was
Oh,
regaled
thank you,
on
Paul.
Mother's Day.
That's right.
And had a wonderful day, and welcome back, everybody. We're talking about legislative update, and Louise just started talking about our Bill of Rights.
Yeah, well, what we were trying to set up in our first go around is why people should care about all this legislation that we're trying to get pushed forward. And there's a lot of things that are not going to be great just for our overall economy and other people's jobs, but also if you have solar on your roof. One of the things that this really brings to the fore is your rights as a solar customer, you know, to be treated fairly, to not have the rug pulled out from under you. Yeah, and you know, one of the things that a lot of people aren't familiar with is just the protections that we have with a contractors board as it is. There is a residential restitution fund that if anything happened and you were harmed, if your home was harmed in any way and you needed to have it put back in working condition, and you know, and no one is taking care of it to your satisfaction, you can go to the contractors board, and the contractors board will give the opportunity for the contractor to fix it. If they don't fix it, they will pay to have somebody else fix it for you.
So if any of our listeners have friends or family that have had solar installed on their homes and they have a problem, that's how they get arrested.
Exactly. That's one of the solid ways, and that's why, again, even if it's not solar, if it's anything else, people should know, do business with a licensed contractor. So now that we've had that wonderful commercial announcement for our contractors board, they do a great job in this town, I gotta say. But the other side of the coin in that same bill is then to bring back net metering. And I referred to the fact that, you know, there has been concern that based on different penetrations in our marketplace of solar, that maybe there is a cost shift to customers who don't have solar. In the Public Utility Commission hearings, that was what everything was all about, and they unfortunately looked at the skewed version of that and overly compensated. So we don't want to overcompensate the other way with this new net metering bill, and so they've really struck a good balance. What they're saying is, as we get more and more solar into our marketplace, they're going to start reducing the value of the solar generated kilowatt hours over time. So we're starting out with 95% with where we are right now. Right now we're only at 2% penetration. We never hit the 3% cap. You know, that was what everybody was all upset about.
So 2% of the homes, a little less than 2%,
yes,
have solar on them.
Exactly. So that's like a mosquito bite on an elephant. You're never going to feel it.
Right.
But as the penetration gets higher and higher, elephant's going to start feeling it.
You go from a mosquito to a wasp.
Exactly.
With any luck.
So what they're doing is they're changing things so that the value of solar will change over time depending on the penetration. You know, at 90% there'll be a shift. At 85%, there'll be another one, and at 80%, over the 10% of peak load, there'll be another change. So as we get higher and higher penetrations, they'll work. You know, there's steps built in to make sure that the compensation is there, so that there isn't a cost shift going forward. So I think it gives everybody an opportunity to be able to enjoy their solar system, to know that they're going to be able to get their money back, and they are going to enjoy savings over the long haul.
Are there any projections or goals as to the percentage of homes we would like to see have solar by any particular date?
Oh, well, we do have a wonderful bill about the portfolio energy standard that's making really good headway.
Tell us about that.
Well, that one is, you know, what we're trying really hard to do is to just make things make more sense. I think as you look at the future, when it comes to energy and climate change and everything else, you know, we have a choice. We can either design our future, or we can be its victim. So by us being proactive here, we have an opportunity to just be really, really smart. And Chris Brooks, our assemblyman, has a wonderful bill that is that does exactly that. It raises the portfolio energy standards. It's AB 206. And what it requires is for our state to reach a goal of 50% of all of our energy to be produced by renewable energy by 2030.
That's not that far away.
It's not, but we're making really good progress. We're past 20% as it is. And then an ambitious goal of hitting 80% by 2040.
80% of the homes.
That's progressive, yes.
I think 50 would be.
Well, it's not just homes, it's everything.
All energy.
It's all of the energy, the entire portfolio of NV Energy would be 80% renewables. And we know that that doesn't mean it's just going to be on our roof. It's going to be the solar farms and everything else. You know, and this is what NV Energy is turning to more and more, is putting in the big solar farms because they can produce power for less money using solar technology than any other way that they can.
Which it's clean at the same time.
The fabulous Annette Bubak knows what she's speaking of.
So let me make sure I understand this, because I try to include this in my projects and it has to pay for itself in 15 years, 25 years. Now they're installing and developing solar farms that are cheaper to build than building a traditional gas-fired plant or coal-fired plant.
Correct.
Exactly.
It's less expensive, and
So let me make sure everyone understands this. We can produce power with solar cheaper than any other method.
Absolutely.
And it's
Boom.
clean.
And it's clean.
So everybody wins.
So everybody
And
wins.
that's whether you have it on your roof, whether you have it in a solar garden, which is something that communities can share. It's another bill that's in this legislative session that helps people, regardless of their income, be able to participate in solar energy, or whether it's going to just be all of us as consumers of energy relying on NV Energy's power to be produced by green energy.
Well, to give people an idea, I started working in Nevada in 2005, and solar back then cost $12 a watt.
It was
What
pricey.
does it cost now?
Oh, it's what, $2 to $3 a watt.
And I'm hearing
For residential.
large purchases are $1.80 a watt. So going from $12 a watt to $1.80 a watt, that's how much solar costs has come down.
Right.
Well, and you know, everyone has to understand too that we have, as much as people would like to buy American, when it comes to solar panels, that's getting just about impossible to do, because the Chinese, while our country has not, you know, they're wanting to stop supporting solar altogether, saying solar can pay its own way. In the meantime, while solar is paying its own way in our country, in China, they've had $40 billion from their government pumped into their solar manufacturing businesses. And what's happened is now China is consuming 50% of everything they're creating. That other 50% is putting this whole world awash in solar panels that are very affordable, the quality is high, and the price keeps going down. So, you know, as long as we're not wrapping our dreams and hopes for the future of our American government and jobs in manufacturing of solar panels, putting them in, you know, doing all the installation, that's the job creator of really good paying jobs in this country, and that's what solar is going to provide.
I visited a little place called SERI, Solar Energy Research
yes.
Institute in Golden, Colorado,
Yes.
back in the day.
Yeah,
which
now
is
it's
now
the-
called NREL, National Renewable Energy Lab, and got a tour where they took me to a quartz machine that was manufacturing quartz crystal, and then they were cutting wafers off of that and making panels.
Yep.
And that's how they made them in the old days, back at $15, maybe $20 a watt. And I said back then, this is not going to be affordable till the Chinese start making it. And unfortunately, that's what happened. So
Yeah, it's amazing what $40 billion can do for
It
the
is.
pricing of a product.
we'll hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back to Shades of Green and talk more about solar and more legislative updates. We'll be right back.